Alright guys, let's talk about files and operating system. In this tutorial, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reading and writing files into our operating system using Python. So I have my terminal up and running on Mac. If you're on Windows and you wish to follow through with this tutorial, do not open command prompt because we're going to be running some Linux commands, and the command prompt does not have native support for these Linux commands. So what you can do instead, if you're Windows, is to boot up a PowerShell instead. Yeah, you can boot up PowerShell or WSL. If you have WSL set up on your Windows, you can do that. Or you can use Ciemda. Ciemda is a terminal emulator for Windows. Essentially, what Ciemda does is it allows us to switch. We can switch to PowerShell, Git Bash, or what is it called now? We can switch to Bash or WSL. Okay, so we can do that. So what I'm saying is we can do you can search for Ciemda here. It's a terminal emulator, so you can download and install on Windows. So it allows us to switch to PowerShell, Git Bash, or WSL. So if you can do that, of course, PowerShell comes out of the box with with Windows. So I think that is easy. You don't have to download anything. But I'm just telling you the options that you have. So we're going to be reading and writing into our file system using Python. So to get started, I'm going to create a file, an empty file in my desktop directory. So I'm going to cd into desktop. So cd desktop, desktop. So I'm going to create the file. So I'm going to do touch, then test.txt like that. So I've created this file. You can see it's on my desktop. It's empty at the minute. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reading from this file. So to be able to read from this file, I have to write something into it. Later on, we're going to implement Python code for writing into an empty file. But I want us to start with reading from this file. So I'm going to write from this terminal into test.txt now. Then we're going to implement the Python code for reading from this test.txt file. So to do that, I'm going to use this Linux command utility cat. Cat is short for concatenate. So what this Linux command line utility allows us to do is allows us to create display and even read and combine text files. So I'm going to do cat. Cat is short for concatenate. And then I'm going to do this. EOF. EOF is end of line. It's a standard what am I saying? Delimiter. So, okay. And then I'm going to do this. And then the name of the file, .txt. Okay. So before I press enter, let me explain what's going on here. I'm using this cat, which is Linux command line utility. And then I'm using this EOF. Say EOF is a standard delimiter. Don't know why I'm struggling to pronounce that. Maybe I'm exhausted. I don't know. So this is saying that take input from this shell and then pass it into this test.txt. So you pass into this test.txt until you come across a line that only contains EOF. Like I said, EOF is a standard delimiter, so it's end of file. You don't even have to use EOF if you don't like this. You can use another word, but just make sure uh, whatever word you're using is the same as the last word you're going to use. So when I press enter here, this we're going to get an ear doc, okay, that we can write whatever we want to write. So the reason I'm even going through this is because I want to populate test.txt with multiple lines. If it's just a single line, I could just have used the echo command. So this offers us a clean approach for doing this. There are other methods you can use, but I'm going to stick with this. What should we write? No, do you really think that AI is intelligent in the? I think this is to in the human sense. Okay, let me go back. I think it's doing what I want. I don't mind. In the human sense. Okay, so if I press enter, this we have another head doc to write another line. Then you say speak now. Speak up now. We are running out of time. You're running out of time. Then I can do hard grok. What do you think? What do you think? Sorry. So if I press enter, then I have to do end of line here. Sorry, end of file. So if press enter, see? So broken out of here. So if this works, our test.txt should have been populated with our 3 statements. So the way to check is to do cat. Remember, pay attention, I'm in my desktop directory. So I can just use this command cat, then the name of the file, test.txt. Of course, it works. So our first statement, do you really think that AI is intelligent in human sense? Speak up now, we're running out of time. At Grok, what do you think? Okay, so we've implemented, we have created test.txt, and then we have written some statement into it. So the next thing for us to do is to read the content of this test.txt by using Python program. So to do that, I'm going to boot up IPython. Of course, if you have been following through with our Python series, you're familiar with how that works by now. So I'm going to boot up another terminal because I think I may have to come back here later on. So I'm going to boot up another terminal. If you're Windows, that's probably another PowerShell. Okay, so I'm going to zoom this in for us to see what I'm going to be doing. Okay, I'm going to zoom this in like that, and then I'm going to do IPython. I like IPython for demonstration purpose, so that we don't have to go through the rigors of booting up on IDE and then creating what is it called, a Python folder, and then start creating Python files. I think when we are building an actual Python project, then we can do that. But for demonstrating Python code, I think IPython is actually quite rich. For that purpose. So we are inside our IPython. We are going to write a program that allows us to read from our text.txt. I can create a function to do that, but I don't want to waste our time. So I'm just going to do a try exception block to read from our text.txt. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create the file path. So to do that, I'm going to do something like f path like that, and then I'm going to do like this. So uh, on Mac it's forward slash. On Windows is backslash, but we are writing Python, so I don't think it matters whether you use forward slash or backslash. I mean, for those people on Windows. So I think if you're on Windows, if you use forward slash, it should still be good, because Python will just automatically interpret it the right way for your operating system. So the file path is going to comprise the full path to my test.txt. So it's inside my desktop folder. So it's inside my desktop. So I'm going from users, then my username. My username is Olamak, and then it's in desktop, and then the name of the file is test.txt, like that. So that's my file path. Okay. So I said I could create a function, but I don't want to create a function. I don't want this tutorial to extend longer than it should. So let's use a try exception instead. So we can do try. Okay, so indentation, and then we can do, okay, so for us to read from our test.txt, there is an inbuilt Python function known as open. So with open, we can read, even write into our file in our file system. So we're going to be using a with statement, WITH statement. So what that does is it helps us to manage things more cleanly, so that we're able to avoid memory leaks. So with the with statement, it automatically closes our what is it called, our file when we are done reading from it. So after try block, then I'm gonna do with, then open. So this, like that. Then I'm gonna pass file path. That's the first argument. The next argument is this flag. So we want to read from text.txt. So if I do how means read only. If I do W means write only. If I do A means append. So let's say we want to append to what we have there, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to read. So that's read only. And then the third argument is going to be, well, we don't have to add this anyway, but then it's good practice to add the encoding, the Unicode encoding, because the Unicode encoding for reading files, it's not the same across every platform. Although there's a way for us to check the Unicode encoding in our operating system, but then it's good practice we add this third argument, so we can do encoding like this, and then we have UTF-8 like that. So with UTF-8 like that, and then we have as file. This is very important because as file, this is an alias. So instead of using everything here, we're just going to use file here to read from our file system. So I'm going to press enter. So after that, we're going to do what is it called? We're going to do content. Content equals to file, this file. dot read, like that. Okay, so um so the read method is the method that allows us to read our file. So after that, I can print an information. Say print. I don't know. So instead of printing, I can do f string. Let's say, what should I do? The contents of our file is okay. What is that? Is no, I don't let me complicate it. Don't let me complicate it. Um, let me just let's just do content here. Let's just do content here. Or let's just do content here. Let's not complicate matters. Let's just do content here. And then okay. Then I need to break out of my try block, and then let's try exception. So we for except what kind of exception do we want to handle here? Let's do file not found not found error. Okay, so that's the exception we want to handle here. So in the event that the file was not found, what do we want to do? So we can do print, we can do f string, and then here we can do error, error, the file. Okay, so let's have our file part here, f part, the file f part was not found. Okay, so that handles that for us. Okay, maybe we can try another exception. Okay, so we can do except, then let's do except exception here, and we need an alias exception, okay, as e, because we're going to want to print out whatever error we get. Then we can do print f string, like that, and then we can say sorry, an error occurred, and what's that error? We can pass that error here. We're using this alias e to do that. Okay, so we have created our try except block, and then we've used this file.read method to try to read the content of our file test.txt. So if everything works fine, we should be able to read what we have in our test.txt. So I'm just going to press enter a couple of times and see whether this works. Okay, so see, we're able to read the content of test.txt with this short Python program. So we have we are printing it here. Do you really think that AI is intelligent in the human sense? Speak up now. We are running out of time. At Grok, what do you think? So we have this. We didn't have any error. Okay, so that's a good progress. We could also, what is it called? We could also open what we have in our text.txt with our default text editor if we like, but I don't think I'm going to bother you with that, because why would you want to do that in a real world scenario? Because I mean, if you have some kind of file or a folder and you wish to open that with your default or your favorite text editor, you can just do that. I mean, if I want to open a project, for instance, with VS Code, my terminal, I already have, what is it called? My command line utility for VS Code setup. I just do code dot, and then I go to that directory and then do code dot. So I'm not going to bother us with this, with that aspect. So let's go to write. But if you're interested, you can just research that aspect, and then you should be good to go. So we've done with reading from, what is it called? From our text. So what we're going to do next is we're going to write into a file. So we've read from the file. Now we're going to write into our file. There are a couple of ways I can do this. I can append to what we already have, but I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to create another file inside our desktop. So guys on Windows, don't be daunted by what we're doing. It's a similar approach on Windows. It's just the terminal environment may look different. We've talked about IPython, how to set it up for your operating system. If your Windows, you can just install Anaconda or Miniconda, and then you go to start, and then you can just enter Anaconda or Miniconda, whichever one you install, and then the shell for the what is it called? The suite of libraries. Whether the shell for either Anaconda or Miniconda comes up, then you can type in IPython, or you can just use pip to install IPython in your system directly, and then you just open what is it called? You can open any command line program on Windows and just type IPython. And of course, if you like, you can just, once you have Python installed on Windows, you can just use the native Python interpreter, if that works for you. But I prefer IPython anyway. So I'm going to create another file. So let me go back to the other terminal. So here I'm going to create another one. That's a touch, and then I'm going to call this output.txt, like that. Okay, so we're going to leave this empty. So we're going to go back to our IPython and I'll write the Python code for writing into this output.txt file. Okay, so let's break out. And then this comes on. See, our output.txt file has been created there. So we're going to go back here, and then we're going to write the code for writing into our what is it called, output.txt. So like we did the other time, I'm going to use try except block. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get the file part, this. So no, so the file part is output.txt. So just get the full part of whatever you create your output.txt. Mine is on desktop. Yours, if you like, you might put it in documents, whatever you like. Just get the full part of where your text file is created. So, and then we're going to do try. So indentation, and then we're going to use with. Remember what we said about with open. So it helps us to avoid memory leaks, and then it helps us close our file automatically. So I'm going to do this. This is short. Okay, so I think it's caching it for us, the things we've typed before, which is another cool feature of IPython. So the first argument is file path, which is this. because we want to write, so it's not going to be read only. We're going to be W, which is write only. Then, like we said the other time, encoding and the Unicode encoding, so which is UTF-8. So like that. And I'm going to press enter. Okay. So, oh, I want to do something. Uh, Something I should have done before now. Okay. Let me do this and then I'm going to do, I'm going to try the second approach because I think what I'm about to do now should have, okay. Let's just roll with it. So your file dot write like this. So what do we want to write? We want to write, so we want to write, what is it called? Hello, everyone, like that. Okay, so that's fine, that's right. Okay, so the next, okay, we can also write multiple lines, but I'm not going to do the multiple lines here because it's not going to look clean. So we're going to do the single line and then we're going to come back for the multiple line. Okay, so I'm going to do enter and then let me go back. Then I'm going to do print, what is it now? Print f string. Here, what should we write? Let's say phi. Come on, phi. This. So we have five parts. Okay, five parts was successfully written into. Okay, so if we put full stop there, enter. Okay, so let's break out of our try. Let's try to accept. In the event that this fails, so we're going to, well, what kind of exception do we want to handle? Let's handle input output error. Okay, then we have an alias E, so we're going to print whatever error that throws. So we can print again f string and then we can do error, writing to file failed. Okay, I don't think this English is accurate, but you get the idea. So let me go back here. Error. Okay, writing to file fail. Then we can print the error that we have there. Okay, so if this works, we should get this message printed to us. If it didn't work, then this will be printed to us, and then we can see whatever blunder we committed. So I'm gonna press enter. Okay, so it works. It worked. So we're getting the file path. See, file path was successfully written into. So this works. So if I go back to the other terminal, what is the other terminal? Okay, I go back to the other terminal. You come on. So if I go back to the other terminal, this, and then I can do cats, and then I can do output.txt. Sure enough, we have hello everyone here like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this output.txt, rm output.txt is gone. So if we go back to see, output is gone. So let's create another one. I want to show you how to write multiple lines. So we can recreate a touch output.txt like that. Okay, now it's created. So it's created. You go and then you come up. Okay, so we're going to write multiple lines into our output.txt now. So I've just recreated it, and it's empty at the minute. So we're going to use Python program to populate that file. But instead of writing a single line, we're going to write multiple lines. So we're going to use in this approach, we're going to use the dot. We're going to use the write lines method for doing that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a list of the statements that we wish to write into our output.txt. So I can do stm statements, and I can do like that. And then the first one, I'm going to try to get clever. Just going to do our first line, okay, and then we have to do new line like that so that it's formatted properly. And then again, I'm going to do our second line. Again, we have to do new line so that it's formatted properly. And then we're going to do our third line like that. Sorry. Do I have this? Okay. So, and then I'm going to close this. So we have our list of statements here. So we're going to use those write lines to populate the output.txt. So let's go. Let's break out this, and then I can do try like before. Try, and then do with open. Okay, so streamline what we're trying to do. Okay, our file path is still there. File path. Okay, so this is still accurate. So I can do, and then I can do file dot. This time I'm going to do write lines. Okay, and then I'm going to pass statements into our write lines. These statements, I'm going to pass it into dot write lines method like that. So if that worked, then I want to print something. Go back, say print f string. What should we do? File path was successfully written into, or successfully written into, like that. Okay, so and then like we did before, now we're gonna undo some exception. Okay, so let's just do the except input output error as e like before, and then we can do print again. Let's use f string, and then we can do error. So what's the error? Let's pass the error here like that. Okay, fingers crossed. If this works, we should get. So you realize the difference between what we're doing here and here is here we're just populating with a single line. Although we could have done file.write statement multiple times, but I don't think that's a clean approach. So that's what I'm using, right lines, and then passing this list items here. So I'm gonna break out of here. So it's successful. So like was successfully written into. So if I go to the other terminal, and then we can do touch. No, we can do cats, and then we do output dot txt. Okay, so we have our first line, our second line, our third line. So that was successful. Now, we could also have some kind of JSON data written into our file system through a Python program. So I'm just going to create a JSON file here. I'm going to do touch, and then I'm going to do data.json like that. So it's empty. So I'm going to go back to our IPython, and then we're going to write the Python code for populating that data.json. So to do that, we have to import a module from Python. So which is, that module is JSON. So we do import JSON, JSON, enter. Okay. Now let's construct our data, our JSON data. What do we do? So this is a dictionary, key value pairs. So name. What do we do? Should we call this Zach? Zach, like that. And then Zach age. Let's leave it as 28. Let's say Jack has a hobby. Is it hobby? Is that hobby? I hope I'm correct. And what's the hobby? Say football. Okay. And then what else? Say city. Who knows? Maybe Los Angeles. Los Angeles. Is that correct? I don't know. I don't stay in Los Angeles, but hope you guys get the idea. So this is our dictionary. Dictionary is complete. Okay. So we've imported JSON, and then we've created our data, which is our dictionary. Now we're going to use this JSON module to dump this data into our data.json that we created the other time. So we have to get the file path like before. So we can do f path this time. Okay, so we have data.json like that. That's our file path. Okay, so again, let's do a try exception. What's the first thing we can do? With open like that. We want to write. Okay, so something is wrong here. My file path is not of the same spelling, so it's f path. Okay, so we want to write only, so that works. So after as file, what else do we want to do? Enter, and then we're going to use this JSON module now. So we do JSON dot dump. We're going to dump it. So the first argument is going to be our dictionary data like that, and the second argument is going to be this, which has alias file. So we have file, and the third argument, let's format it so we can do indent equals to indent 4 like that. Okay, so I think that should do. And then should we print something? Enter. I don't know. Let's print successful. So if that was successful, it's successful. Okay, like that. And then let's break out of let's create an exception. The exception we're doing the other time is a input output error, right? So as E, and then we're going to do print f string again, error, and then we're going to pass this error here. So if this works, we should get successful, and then our data.json should be populated. So I'm going to press enter a couple times and then see. Okay, so we get successful. Okay, so it worked. So let's go back to the other terminal and let's see what we have. Can I clear this out? Okay, good. So now we can do cat data.json. Okay, so we have that. That works for what we wish to what is it called? What we wish to do. Let me see if I can make this look better. If we do cats and then we do data.json and then we do this and then we do JQ. My battery is gone, so I can't explain this, but let's just see. Okay, so it worked. So guys, I'll see you guys next video. I don't want this to terminate before my battery. I don't want my battery to screw this up for us. So I'll see you guys the next video. Thanks for watching.